Okay, hello all, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Emily Sanders, and I am a moderator for KCFF this year. Today, I am joined by Dakota Ray Hebert, who plays Beck from the film Run, Woman, Run, directed by Zoe Hopkins. Run, Woman, Run is one of the films featured in our KCFF 22 lineup. If you have just viewed the film and are joining us now, welcome. If you haven't watched it yet, be sure to check out our digital platform to get a ticket. So Dakota, congratulations for winning Best Actress at the American Indian Film Festival.
Thank
What was it like?
you.
Yeah, what was it like receiving that award?
Pretty exciting. It validated like my whole life. I think it like when it was announced. Because it has been a dream of mine since I was a little girl to pursue acting and be an actor. And then to like get cast as a lead in my first ever movie, validating, and then to win an award like that, I was like, oh my god, like if I'm in a coma right now, no one wake me up. Like it just seemed like it was too good for real life.
Well, congratulations. How did you celebrate your win?
We were actually in the hospital, thought we were having an early labor. So that's how we celebrated. It was
Wow,
almost by
yeah.
having a baby. I was so excited.
Yeah. Well,
uh,
congratulations on your win and your new baby.
Thank you.
Yeah, quite a year.
Busy.
Um, so my first question is, how did you meet the director, Zoe Hopkins, and how did you come to be involved in this film?
So, um, when Zoe had originally messaged me on my Facebook and asked me if I'd like to audition for the movie, and I was like, absolutely, that sounds great. So we got into contact, and I had a different agent at the time, who kind of got set things up, and that was all awesome. And then as the shoot went on, I'd kind of found out that Zoe had reached out to the agency a couple of times, I guess, and I guess I'd been told that I was on my honeymoon or I wasn't able to do the audition or what have you. So Zoe had to just like approach me personally. So that's how we had met. And then it was just I basically just got to Toronto and we were in rehearsals, and then that was the first time we met in real life too. It was just like 2 days, like 3 days before the shoot. But it was just all like really exciting, like really just like it just felt good. Like Zoe had approached me and it was like, hey, yes, let's do this, FaceTime or chat on the phone, and then just set straight to work. So it was a pretty whirlwind relationship, whirlwind friendship. But it was all like so it's all been so awesome. Like now we like text each other a lot too, and we stay in lots of contact. Um, but yeah, that's how we first met.
Awesome. Thank you for telling us that story. So let's get into the film. An amazing film. I loved watching it, and I loved your performance particularly. And I also loved how Beck's health narrative is really about a reclamation of the self that is tied to reclamation of her family, history, community, and culture. What is particularly important for you about Beck's story?
I think it's something that everyone can relate to. Like there's something and there's someone in the movie that you can relate to. And I think like I really just like how it's not like tied to like fitness and like diet culture. You know what I mean? It's tied to just like, yeah, just doing better for yourself. And I think the honor run is really beautiful too. And just trying to like now that I have my son too, like there is just an extra layer of like, hey, I gotta keep it together. Like I gotta no more, the pizza every days kind of situations, and trying to just be healthier so I could be here as long as I can for my sweetheart and my baby. And so I think when you watch the movie, like you kind of feel like connection too, and you kind of see like trying to do better for yourself, for your loved ones as well is really important, and as in
Yeah,
addition to for yourself too, right? So
uh, it definitely felt like a kind of fitness narrative that was again like thinking about health as not maybe being something like literal, but also something that transcends every aspect of your life. So
yeah, yeah.
um, I was also wondering, What has the response been like? Did you guys film, like you mentioned Toronto just now, but did you film a lot in Oswego or throughout Six Nations? And has the film been brought to the community at all?
Yeah, it was shot entirely in Six Nations. And so we just did a couple rehearsal shots in Toronto, or like rehearsal moments. And then we had the rest of the shoot in Six Nations. And so it was that felt really exciting too, because I was really like, I love Six Nations. I've been there a few times, and it is just one of my favorite spots to be. But shooting this movie there was really important too, because like you could almost feel Tom Longboat around you. You felt like the love that Zoe's family has for her, the love that she has for her community, the love that everyone in the community had. Like, it was just like, leave me here. I love this place. um, and so that was really wonderful. And to my knowledge, it did go to Six Nations, and it has been really well received. And I'm really excited. I'm going to be going there for a different shoot that I'm doing in March. And so I'm kind of excited to kind of reconnect with the people that I'd met while I was shooting there, to see what they thought.
Can you tell us a little bit about your shoot? Is it something that maybe we can expect to see sometime in the near future?
Yeah, so I'm a co-host for APTN's Crazy Like a Lynx with John Kelly, and we're doing an episode around Six Nations, and that'll be March 17th to the 15th. We're shooting there, and I think the second season will be airing sometime in 2023, I imagine. So
Awesome. Cool. Thank you for that.
yeah.
So you mentioned Tom Longboat. I loved how he was depicted throughout the film. I loved that kind of like almost haunting, but also like companionship and presence. And I liked the lack of like special effects with it as well. Do you know what came first? Like whether it was that particular like historical moment in Mohawk history of Tom Longboat, or if it was Beck's story that emerged first?
I think it was originally Beck's story, but it wasn't going to be told from a woman's perspective. It was going to be told, the man was the main character, or a man was the main character. And um, after a bit of time, so it was kind of like, why am I telling a man's story? I should make this into like a woman's story. So I think that came first originally, and then the addition of Tom Longboat and like her spiritual helper. So I believe that is. If Zoe watches this and it's wrong, I hope she corrects me. But that's what I think how it went. Yeah.
Cool, thank you. And one other question is, what did you love about playing Beck?
I loved, well, there was so much to love too, because even just in the personal life, like, this is my first movie. So the night before I was also scared. Like, I was like, oh my God, what if I suck? Like, crying. Um, and then just like started doing it. And I love just the feeling of like, I made it. I'm doing the darn thing. I'm an actor. I'm an actor. And then I loved I loved just like how like dry and sarcastic she is, and how fun that was too. Um and just kind of like, I loved her family relations. She had lots of really interesting relationships, and I really loved those too.
Mhm.
um I wish that she was more of a savory eater and not a sweet eater. There was those days when I'd had to eat like 4 donuts in like 10 minutes, and I'm not a sweets person, so I'd be like, oh, like so sick after.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, like I can crush a whole pizza to myself, no problem, I'm fine. But eating like 6 donuts, it just like, I can feel it react with my pancreas, and I'm just like, I'm ill. But that was also fun. I mean, that added to it, right? Like, I feel physically sick after eating this.
Yeah, method
There's so
acting.
much to love about Beck. Like, she's just such a, and she was so wonderfully written too. So we just absolutely nails like all the aspects of humanity in all of the characters. So it was lots of fun.
Yeah, I'm curious, what do you remember what the first scene was for your first day on set that you shot?
Yes, I believe it was kind of I think it was an outdoor shot. Yes.
Mhm.
Um, the first scene was I think we had John Eric, and it was like this, and I think it was kind of like the first little honor run bit. And the only reason I remember that, well, I caused production to start like half an hour, 45 minutes late, because I had shellac nail polish on. which doesn't get taken off by nail polish remover. So it took like too long to like scrape it off and then soak it. It was bad. I was mortified.
Have any acetone on set, I guess?
Yes. So one of the makeup artists ended up having acetone. So we did a soak and I was so apologetic. And then we went outside and there was, everything was kind of getting ready to go. And there was this really cute dog on set. So I started like, this dog came up to me and started being all cute. And I was like, oh, I love this. And it was the AD's emotional support dog. I was like, oh, it's that obvious, right? That I'm having like a meltdown internally. So I'm pretty sure that was a scene too. It does get all blended together, but I'm pretty sure that was like the first morning of shooting.
Wow, awesome. And one of my last questions for you is, what's your favorite moment in the film?
My favorite moment in the film. I think when her and Tom Longboat, there's a few, because she has really awesome moments with a lot of people. I think the running moment, like the fighting moment with her sister, is one of my favorites because that is total sister relationship. And it reminds me a lot of my sister and I's relationship. And I think that when she runs with Tom Longboat and she gets that runner's high and she's so excited, she whips her smokes into the river. I think that's something. Act first, then think later. I think that's really funny. I think those are, and then the honor run too, like the pushing through it and sharing of each mile, for each creature. I really, that's something that's really special to me too. Yeah,
that was such a beautiful scene. And do you know where we can see this film after KCFF? Will it be on Crave or CBC?
Yeah, so it's going to be making its way to select theaters at the end of this month, and I'm not too sure when that'll end. And then eventually, it'll be home on Crave.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Okay, so we'll keep an eye out for that. But great. Thank you so much for joining us, Dakota. It's such a pleasure to talk to you. For those listening, just a reminder that KCFF 22 runs from March 3rd to 13th of this year. And please be sure to check out the other videos in our series to hear from other fantastic filmmakers and talent in Canada. Awesome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks.